Anyone out there for the Rubber Boot Net?
VE3UUH.
VE3LC.
VE3MPO, good morning.
VE3KAE.
3CSA.
Well, that was a very orderly progression there. VE3UH, good morning, Bob. VE3RUU, I think it was. I may have been troubled with something. VE3LC, good morning, Steve and Norman. VE3MPO and VE3KAE, Roger and Alan. And VE3CSH, good. Anyone else for the Rubber Boot Net?
VE3BGO.
VE3BGO, Brian. Anyone else? Well, we lost our power for most of yesterday. There was an interval about 12 noon to maybe 20 to 1 when we got the power back. But it was a spasmodic connection all day. It would switch on, bleep, and then it would switch off, blop, and then 5 minutes later it would bleep, bleep again, and then another 10 minutes of bleep, blopping. As I said, the interval was about lunchtime. I think they'd given up on trying to decide which colour wire they should connect to which, and they decided to hold a vote onto what they should do, I think. But we got it back about, I suppose, 6 o'clock in the evening? No, a bit earlier than that, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So, VE3UUH, did you have any power outages?
No power outages here, and when you weren't around and figured something was up, either your ice had ice on your antenna, power was out, or something come up. So it had to be one of the three. And of course you answered that question, so I just picked it up yesterday at about 7:32, I guess. I jumped in. By that time I figured you probably weren't showing up due to technical difficulties. And if you did, I would have just passed it over to you anyway. So had a good little night there yesterday. The customary between 8 and 10 check-ins. So this morning there must have been a little wisp of snow overnight. Nothing much of any, but it's combined with the melting and then the freeze. So it's like sandpaper. It's way easier to walk around on my yard and my laneway today than it was yesterday. It was an adventure. It was pretty shimmery. But whatever that light snow was, it was granular enough with the meltdown to be almost like walking on sandpaper. I put the garbage out, the recycle, put the bird feed in the feeders in both front and backyard. Only going into the backyard was a bit of an adventure compared to other spots. So other than that, no big plans for the day. I guess whatever unfolds. The household is back to normal. It's just me, myself and my wife. She's off to work later on. And back, the mother-in-law got moved into her apartment, seems to be happy. Everything is ticky-boo so far. VE3UUH.
Well, it sounds like winter's your time, but personally, I really don't care for it anymore. Now I don't ski anymore. So we had spasmodic connections to the hydro line. So the spasmods were in high supply yesterday. Actually, I got up at 4 o'clock to blow out the driveway. It was a bit of a mistake because it was cold and dark and dismal. But I got it done, and I thought, the snowplow is going to come around. And by this time, it was still 7 o'clock. And sure enough, no, not 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And sure enough, it came around and deposited a whole bunch of snow at the end of the driveway. So I spent another 20 minutes doing that. VE3RUU.
Well, good morning, Mike, and everyone on the net this morning. And we're currently under overcast skies at this point in the morning, and it's -9, feels like -18. We're going to a high this afternoon of -8 under sunny skies, and we have sunny skies coming in this morning once they get up and going. Outlook for tonight, we have clear skies, we fall down to -13. Overnight, we continue under clear skies down to -18. Outlook for tomorrow, we have sunshine at -11, sunshine on Friday, -8, sunshine on Saturday and +5, outlook for Sunday, we're having mixed precipitation. We're looking at just under 5 millimeters of rain and 5 to 10 centimeters of snow off and on throughout the day on Sunday. That could change, but that's what they're showing at the moment. Then we're looking at another 2 to 4 centimeters of snow on Monday at -5. Back to you, Mike.
Well, it doesn't sound wonderful, does it? Actually, we had another emergency of a kind. It's not often, it's very rare, in fact, that the screen doors, we have, all the bedrooms have a balcony, and a sliding door, exit, a big sliding door. And it's screened, of course, to keep the flies out. And when it rains, and then it freezes, the screen door freezes up with the ice at the bottom. So you have to treat it with great care, because if you just try and manhandle the screen, it turns into a rhombus. You can't pull it gently. You have to tap it. Well, I learned that. So I warm it very gently on the inside, and that melts a little bit. Then I can wheedle it out and put a lever in and wheedle the rest out. And then, of course, I have to clean the ice out of the screen door along with. But I don't suppose you need to bother with that. Don't you have a man coming around, Steve? I would say so. A VCLC, here's the man to fix up things for you.
Yeah, good morning, Mike, everybody that's checked in and listening, VE3LC. Oh boy, well, I see there's a glaze of ice over our driveway, which is perfectly understandable considering the rain we had there yesterday and now the freezing temperatures. Well, it was a mess there yesterday morning, wasn't it? Luckily, the city has sent around a snowplow there yesterday to kind of get all the stuff off the road. Otherwise, it would have been frozen with all the ruts and so on that would make it virtually impassable. Anyway, yesterday I applied for a new passport, and I took the 10-year option, which cost a little bit more. Now, as we get advanced in life, we wonder whether the 10-year option will be worthwhile or not. And but I'm taking, I'm following the lead of one of the fellows that we have breakfast with every Tuesday, Peter Jago, VE3MPC, and he renewed his passport for 10 years there last year. Actually, he was telling us about that. He took the 10-year option, and this year he's just turned 95. So if he can take the 10-year option, I'm sure I can. VE3LC.
Well, it probably just slipped his mind that he was actually pushing it a bit, maybe, at 95. Oh, good him, I would say. And I'm wondering what happens to old passports. I thought you have to turn them in, or what? Well, I'll no doubt find out, or somebody will find out in due course. I've kept all my old passports, and there's quite a collection of them, I may say. VE3MPO, I tried ringing you up yesterday, Roger, but I couldn't get through because having no power, of course, we have no telephone. Well, we do have an old bell set, but that's outside in the cold, and I didn't want to go there. VE3MPO.
VE3TJP, VE3MPO. Well, okay, with that there, Mike, I was thinking of giving you a call there, but after the net, and I guess one thing to another I didn't, and relaying to what Norm just said there, it just so happens that I went at the office there on Ogilvy there just last week, and I was going to renew my passport. I got a lot of paperwork because my other passport expired last year, and a whole year, and if that happens, you got to do the whole thing again, in any case. So all the paperwork is all done. I went to Costco to get my picture taken, only $7. It wasn't too bad, $7, but then they told me that I not to touch the picture for I don't know, a few days there, so that the stamp in the back there, I don't know if they have a chip in that picture or what, but in any case. And then the wife got her picture taken, and then she said all her hair was kind of red. She said her hair was reddish, so in any case, she didn't like it. So we went the day before, I should say. I guess that would have been on Saturday or Monday, I forget now. But anyhow, she got her picture retaken again. And anyhow, we're going to renew our passport there for 10 years too. I think it's $160. I think that's what it is. In any case, that's about it. Yesterday, shoveled the yard, did all of that, and then I had one of my shovels at the metal part on the shovel. There's a metal part at the very bottom of the shovel that was coming apart. So I took it in the shed. I popped out the rivets that were stuck in there that were kind of useless, and I put new pop rivets, and now I got I wouldn't say a brand new shovel, but a shovel in better condition. Anyhow, that's it. Back to you, Mike, VE3MPC.
Well, that sounds like an exciting day. Yes, it's a mistake to let the passport expire, because you do indeed have to go through a long, tedious process. In actual fact, the last passport I had, I was well before the expiry of the old one. And so we went to a local photographer in Renfrew, just because we happened to be in Renfrew. And they took a photo. Now, the problem was, this was taken against a white background, and I happened to be wearing a white shirt and a white sweater. I didn't have white pants on, mind you, but that's okay. They don't use that for it. And furthermore, of course, I have very white hair. So they didn't think anything of it, the photographer. So we sent out the application. Mine was returned, saying, well, we don't like all this white on your passport picture. Please try to get some contrast between the dark places and the light places. So I said, well, I'm not going to get my hair dyed. So the photographer said, oh, we can fix that up. We'll light it a little from the side, and then you'll get some shadow on our white reflective thing here. So they did that, and sure enough, only 3 weeks later, they, from Winnipeg of all places, I was at Medicine Hat. Anyway, they sent my brand new passport with a brand new photo code. VCKAE, Alan, from way south of the sea.
Yes, good morning, Mike, and everyone on net. Mine is 12 out here, so I assume my driveway is a skating rink, and I haven't been out this morning, and have to leave soon to take my son to an appointment in Ottawa, so hopefully I won't have to chip it out of the ice. I have a ton of water out there, at least I did yesterday. I have my new furnace in, and it's nice to have consistent heat and rather quiet furnace, so that's very nice. I appreciate the discussion of passport, because I just made a note here. I think mine expires this year, so I'm going to check that. So I have a note to check it, and the 10-year option sounds like a good idea. Other than that, nothing further for me. Have to leave soon for the appointment, and back to you, Mike, VE3KAE, Dallin in Kempville.
Yeah, speaking of passports, a few years ago I had to get an Australian visa, and to do that we had to go down to the Australian embassy, which is, I don't know, somewhere downtown. But what struck me about that place was that it was totally surrounded, all the access places, by what they told me was bulletproof glass. It was at least 3/4 of an inch thick, and they didn't have an electronic microphone and speaker. This was just been installed, and so you had to shout at the top of your lungs to get through to the operator on the other side. Well, we did that, and as well, because it was the last day that I could have got a visa. I only found out I needed a visa 2 days before we were actually to leave. That would have been a real screw-up. But we got it done. We had to get a special visit to the doctor, to our doctor, in order to certify that we didn't have any viral diseases. So that took time, and we actually achieved it all with about 8 minutes to spare at rush hour on the Queensway. So that's an experience. Make sure that you apply for your passport and all the visas, all the other visas, well before you want to go. VE3CSH, Gordon.
Good morning, Mike. I made my usual trip to the convenience store to buy the newspapers. The walking was a little bit icy and treacherous, so I took it slow and gentle and got there safely. I have an interesting story I'd like to share with you. Some time ago on the internet, I made a friend by the name of Valery Medvedev. He lives in the Russian city of Voronezh. We talked on Skype several times. He wanted to learn English. He's a web designer, and he downloads software from the internet, and a lot of it's in English, so he's learning English. He can actually read books in English. He taught me a little bit of Russian and a little bit about the country. I sent him some souvenirs of Canada, and he made some videos about his family, uploaded them to YouTube, and I downloaded them and shared them with my family. But Valery told me one interesting bit of trivia that I'd like to share with you. He tells me that Russians put snow tires on their cars exactly the same as Canadians, Mike.
Oh, well. That takes me back sometime when I was just on a kind of an idle spur of the moment thing. I sent a signal report back to Radio Cube or whatever the station was, I don't know, and I gave them the distance and the bearing and so on, and I gave them a full account of the fluctuations of the signal. Anyway, they sent me back a photograph of Castro. It was not actually signed originally, but it had been signed. I think it was a photocopy of the original, which the guy was that I sent my radio report to. And ever since then, they've been sending me back annually a picture of the latest tyrant in Cuba, which is okay, except that I think it may be monitored by the FBI, the CIA, the RCMP, and who knows. I put it on my office door. I thought that was the case that we better publicize all presidents and so on. I will not put a picture of Trump on. VE3MPC.
Morning, Mike, and everyone on frequency. Nothing major to report. Just glad to be able to check in, listen to the net. VE3BGO, back to you, Mike.
Yeah, you were playing with some new antennas, I believe, not so long ago. I hope these worked out okay.
What was that, Mike? Regarding new antennas?
I thought you were spending some time in experimenting with different 2-meter antennas. Am I incorrect?
Nothing 2-meter, no. I've tried a few things on my HF antenna, adding a coil and so forth, but no, nothing to 2-meter. Over.
Well, because that reminds me, I'm going to have to this summer get my 80-meter antenna replaced, and I don't have enough length to put the original dipole up. So I might splurge on one of these slinky antennas. They are apparently made with copper, so they won't corrode all that much, and apparently they work quite well. And you can tune them by just stretching the slinky on its insulating the port. Now, what happens when it rains, I don't know, but we'll find that out. This is the Rubber Boot Net, and this is VA3JP. Looking for any further texting.
Don't go with the slinky antenna, VE3LC.
I think I just went on top of somebody. It sounded like Rob. Could you come back again?
Morning all, the E3S channel.
Okay, that's who I thought it was. And I heard an interjection from Norman, VEPLC. Did you say don't use slinky antennas?
Well, Rob might disagree because I think he has experience with slinky antennas, but I can only imagine a slinky antenna would be a disaster in an ice storm.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can always get it down quickly, I suppose, and if you calibrate it, put it up again. Most people put them inside their attic. Well, that wouldn't help me because now we have a metal roof. I don't think it would be functional at all, do you?
Get a 43-foot vertical.
Oh, well, yeah, that's all very well, but then you're always worried about this blowing over. We get some fiendish winds sometimes on the river. Let's hear from VE3MPC. Haven't heard of it for a long time then.
When you're done with Rob, VE3UUH.
Okay.
Well, morning again. No, I hadn't had the radio in a while. Of course, I've been sick twice with whatever's been going around. Went to get rid. I got rid of it, and that silly bugger came right back again. But that's another routine. The Slinky has one property in this environment that we have with regards to wet snow and freezing rain. If there's a breeze, it springs right back because it's a helicoil spring. Doesn't matter which size you use. The regular Slinky, which a pair of those can make you a 40-meter dipole, or the junior Slinky. Two of those you can make a 20-meter dipole. They have an interesting property that when they get covered in snow and ice, wet snow, it'll fall off when it starts to wiggle in the breeze. And with ice, because it wiggles, it breaks. And the Slinky goes right back to where it belongs. The other bizarre thing is when it gets wet, the SWR goes down. So for about $25, you can get a 20-meter dipole that you can use on 17 or 10 with a tuner. I've got one and I've done it. And that goofy thing, I've even talked to Norm off of it on 6 meters, weird as that is. And you can make a 40-meter dipole out of a pair of them, the larger size. And if you've got the real estate, out of 4 of them, you can make a monstrosity that can get you on 80.
Alternatively, as Norman said, the other vertical occupies little space and it just doesn't very often fall on somebody's head. And it's likely to be quite expensive, though, I would have thought. But I was toying with the idea of taking a length of PVC tubing and putting copper foil on the outside of it so as to make a rather flexible 20 or 30-foot pole, which would be quite rigid. I don't think it will be affected by the plastic of the pole, and if need be, then one can always use the old sailboard mast, but then you need four mast on top of it. So anyway, yes, you're right. Slinkers are the idea. Despite what Norman says. Anyone else out there for the Rubber Boot Net?
UUH.
3KLT.
You are eminently forgettable being so far away, but go ahead, VE3UUH.
I think you had a KLT right after me. Well, take a look at that before you make the G7 FEK antenna. One leg's 38 and the other's only 8 feet, and it runs 80 through 10 meters, and it'll cost you next to nothing to put one together. You could probably do it in a half an hour, and you'll have a reasonably decent antenna up. So G7 FEK, I told you that one the other day. Take a look at it. If you've got 38 feet, surely your yard's got 38 feet in one direction or another, and the other leg's only 8 feet, and then you'll have something up that you won't be saying, geez, I wish I had an antenna that was a little better. Like I used to start off using a Cushcraft R7 vertical. I still have it, and I don't care what anybody says. I worked 240 countries with it with an old tube radio, but it doesn't have 80 meters on it. But it certainly worked well from 40 through to even 6 meters. Like I say, look at that G7 FEK, and before you make any big decisions.
It was Wednesday, January the 17th, when I've got it written down, G7 FEK. I'll go on the hunt about that, but this time of the year I'm usually shoveling or blowing or doing something anyway. So I never got around to it. I'm also having problems with Windows 10. They insist on putting their updates, and these are special programs. They're useless programs. And what I want to do is to block them out. They've been trying 15 times over the past month. They've attempted to put this in, and it's about a 2-hour download. So usually I don't leave the computer onto the internet if I leave it overnight charging or something. But occasionally I forget, and lo and behold, it starts all over again. Okay, I will look up T780K. Let's hear from VE3RUU if you're still there, Steve.
Another check-in before you go back. KLT, I think it was.
KLT? Was it VE3KLT?
Yes, it was. I was just suffering from a bit of cold. My wife's a week and a half. She's back in the good land, and now it's my turn. And if it doesn't get better by late Thursday night or Friday morning, I won't be going to coffee, so I don't inflict it on anybody else. With that, back to Net.
Oh, sorry to miss you, Terry. Anyway, you sound a bit like I felt yesterday, but I think I'm a little over that cold. It doesn't seem to leave me entirely. So, VE3RUU? Well, I think Steve's gone off to better things. VE3LC, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Well, antennas, if you don't get the wire up there, or the elements, or the surface area, if you will not get the radiation, so that's of prime importance. The more up there radiating, the better it is. So any of these abbreviated antennas are just that, abbreviated antennas. They will load, and you will get out, but you will not get out as well as you could get out. And so that has to be taken into consideration. But I've been reading a little bit about 43-foot verticals. That tends to be a little bit of a magical length, mainly because it's 5/8 on 20 meters. But of course, it has to be matched and loaded and this sort of thing for 80 meters. It's not a quarter wave on 80 meters, obviously. So it would not perhaps work as well as a quarter wave or 60 some odd feet on 80 meters. But I have a 33-foot stick up in the air, and I've been using that on 160s lately with a loading coil at the base. And so these are the things you can do. And of course, even a dipole, if you want a shortened dipole, you can put loading coils in both legs of it and make it pretty resonant on where you want to go on, let's say, 80 meters. So that's an option too. The whole thing is whether you want to make the antenna a low impedance feed on the band in question, or whether you want to tolerate an impedance other than 50 ohm resistive and suffer the losses in your feed line and so on to your antenna tuner, or whether you want to place the antenna tuner at the feed point of the antenna. So these are all the things you have to consider, and of course the big thing you have to consider is what practically can you do with the real estate that you have and things like that. So I think a full survey and assessment of your situation by a qualified engineer has to take place there, Mike. Anyway, 7-3. 7-3. Catch you guys later. VE3LC.
Be taken into account. Who has an extreme objection to odd lengths of wire displayed about the house, here and there and everywhere. But I will take it under advisement, of course. VE3MPO, Roger.
VE3TJP, VE3MPO. Well, I guess nothing much other to add on here. At one time I tried a spider web spider antenna there. I had 4 or 5 radios there and one coax, and it worked very well. I guess I don't know. I'd like to try that again, but it requires a lot of wire. Anyhow, I don't know whether I did make some contacts with that. It would load up on on one of the cut wires, whatever. Anyhow, and today we have the guy coming in to straighten out our grandfather's clock. We got a very expensive clock, and for the past year and a half, 2 years, I don't know if it's unbalanced or what, but there's a guy coming to have a look at, see if he can get it going again, so we can hear the ding-dong at 1 and 2 o'clock and whatnot. So that's all we have to do there. Otherwise, we're going to stay in the house. Oh, that's right, got to go curling this afternoon. Anyhow, back to you there, Mike, VE3MPC.
Oh, is this a full-height grandfather clock, Roger?
Yeah, it's a full-size grandfather's clock. I think it was worth about $4,000.
You know, the trouble is, unless you can adjust them, and that's a very, very well, is supposedly variable, that all through the life you'll be waiting for that one fast or slow click, or the one which goes hiccup, and what you really need is a soundproof grandfather clock. But then, of course, that takes it away from the virtue of a grandfather clock. If you really want a clock, get an electronic clock, or a synchronous mode clock, I suppose. VECKAE.
Yes, still here, Mike. Listening to various discussions. Very interesting. I just looked at the information online about the G7 FEK antenna, and so I'm going to have a read through that particular document I pulled up. It's 12 pages, so it's going to take a bit, but I'll have a look at that. Sounds interesting. Tonight I think I'll try to hook up, since I now have a digitally capable radio with a digital net tonight at 9, and give that a try. And other than that, I have to head out right now for my son's appointment. So 73 to everyone. Everyone have a great day and be safe. VA3TJP, VE3KE, back to you, Mike.
Oh, before you go, you're probably aware that CCSTP, which is way west of Ottawa, is close to Calabogie, you know. They just, I believe, installed a, what is it? The link up to anyone and everyone. Anyway, I thought you might be interested in that. You probably know about it anyway.
No, I hadn't heard that, Mike, but I'll check that out too. There seems to be more fusion repeaters, digital repeaters being installed. So I'll check that out. Thanks very much. VE3KE, back to you, Mike.
Yeah, you know, it slipped my mind what the name of it is. It's one of the original easily used. It's not really digital, I suppose, but it's a classic method of. Now you can use your phone as the receiver, by the way, and as the transmitter too. So it's useful for these people who don't want to sit in front of a more VECCSH. So did the language learning with your reference end, was it successful?
Well, he speaks good English. He reads Hemingway and Dickens in English, but I never really did learn more than a smattering of Russian. It's a very difficult language to learn, and I really had no place to practice it. So even when I did learn a little, I really had no way of retaining it. So I've sort of fallen back on Google Translate, which is the lazy man's way out. I have one more thought I'd like to share with you, Mike. This is just a bit of a personal reflection, but I'm recovering from a serious illness, and I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But Mike, it's taught me in a way that I'll never forget how valuable good friends can be.
Your audio was a little bit muffled there. What is the problem, actually?
I say, I'm recovering from a serious illness, and I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's taught me in an indelible way just how valuable good friends are, Mike.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a good thing to do, I suppose. I'm not one for learning languages myself. I can understand French as long as it's slow enough. I can actually understand Latin if it's slow enough. I can hazard a Greek if it's slow enough, but nothing else, I'm afraid. I don't speak any Esperanto or Japanese. Japanese would be nice. Or Chinese. Well, okay, best of luck, I suppose. VE3MPC O'Brien is probably gone by now. I guess so. VCSJN, are you home yet? Oh, we've gone on too long. VCKIE, Terry. Yep, we spent too long talking about new antennas or different antennas. So I'm going to say good morning all, and see you, I hope, on Thursday, having missed Tuesday on account of the sporadic hydro outages we had here. And this is VE3MPC closing the Rubber Boot Net. Good morning all.